Welcome back to the channel. Last week I broke down all the costs that come with closing on a home here in Pennsylvania. And yeah, it can be a little expensive and overwhelming. This week we're kind of flipping things around and we're going to talk about how to actually save money on closing costs. Real practical ways that work. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany and I'm a realtor here in the Lehigh Valley. I make videos once a week talking real estate. I show you neighborhoods and I try to give you everything in plain, everyday English, right? No fancy language here. Let's jump into today's video. Number one, shop around for your lender. This is something where you can save money. Even a tiny difference in lender fees or points can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars at closing. Every lender has to give you something called a loan estimate or a buyer's estimated closing costs. And that's basically a breakdown of what they're charging you as well as all the other fees they anticipate for you to close on the home. I recommend you get at least 2 and 3 if you're fancy and compare them line by line. You'll be surprised how much they vary. I do have a video here on the channel where I did a class with a lender and he talked to us about all the tips and tricks for your pre-approval, so I will be sure to tag that. In that video, I shared that you should always try to get more than one pre-approval if you can, because you want to fact check your lender. You want to be sure you're getting the best rates as far as your best interest rates, and you want to be sure that you're not getting gouged in fees. Okay? Now, some things are going to be the same. Transfer taxes, title fees, those are going to be pretty consistent. But how much are their lender fees? They use words like origination fee, application fee. And how much do they escrow? That's another one. The escrow is important because if they escrow 6 months of taxes and insurance versus another lender that does 12 months, that could be a few $1,000s in your pocket, right? And that's just on taxes and insurance. So think about that. Also, if they say, oh, we can't give you an estimate because we don't have the house that you're interested in, give them one. Find a house that fits your pre-approval and say, hey, I thought you might say that. I'd like you to give me an estimate based on 124 Conch Street, Bikini Bottom. Recognize that address? Number 2, it wouldn't be right for me to tell you to shop around for your lender without also telling you to shop around for your agent and their broker fees too. Agents are not out here working for free. Be honest and upfront with your agent. If it's not in your budget to pay for an agent, let your agent know so they can ensure that the homes you're visiting are offering cooperating compensation. Also, many brokerages also charge a fee. Mine does. So definitely ask your agent to explain their fees. This is something I go over in a buyer's consultation, and if you're interested in working with me, definitely reach out. My email and website are always linked below the video. Number 3, a blast from the past, seller's assist. Number 3, a blast from the past, seller's assist. Seller's assist is a great way to offset your closing costs. Sellers can contribute up to 6% of the purchase price towards your cost. That does depend on the loan type. It's especially useful if you're short on cash up front. Aren't we all? But you do have a good credit score and you have some money for down payment. Keep in mind, your offer needs to stay attractive overall. So lean on your agent to help structure it just right, because seller's assist is a part of your offer. I have seen in the past where a buyer will offer over asking to help with closing costs because it is a credit to the seller. The rub is the home has to appraise at the full offer price. When done right, it can bring down the closing costs for the buyer. I talked about this some in my video on USDA loans, and I'm also going to provide you an example here. Let's say you're buying a $100,000 home. Your closing costs will run about $8,000. So you submit an offer for $105,000 with $5,000 seller's assist. If the seller agrees to cover $5,000 of those costs, that means you'll only need to bring $3,000 to closing instead of the full $8,000. But what does this mean for the seller? Their closing costs have now increased. But because you offered more than the listing price, their net proceeds remains the same. In this example, they will walk away with $94,000. Remember, the home has to appraise for the full offer price of $105,000. Number 4, use first-time buyer programs or down payment assistance. Pennsylvania has many first-time home buyer programs like PHFA. That's the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. I did a video with Michelle.Halpin from Prosperity Mortgage in October of 2023, so go check that out to learn more. I will be sure to tag it. Here in the Lehigh Valley, there are also county level grants too, so always check early as those funds tend to go fast as they are on a first come, first served basis. I recently did an open house for a listing and several banks reached out to me to tell me that they had money available, down payment assistance for that area of Allentown. So definitely keep that in mind. Over the last few years, we have been in a highly competitive seller's market, and some sellers have been shying away from FHA loans, seller's assist, and down payment programs, but not all. I was recently working with a well-qualified buyer, and we went 0 for 3. They were either outbid or the other buyers had less contingencies. It was really frustrating. So it happens to even the best of buyers and the best of agents. So if you hear nothing else in this video, don't get attached. Be open to alternates and trust the process. It will happen for you. What's meant to be will be. Keep a positive mindset and definitely keep looking. You never know. Another suggestion, number 5, is close at the end of the month. This one's super simple. If you can, schedule your closing near the end of the month. That's because part of your closing costs include prepaid interest for the days of the month that you are in the home. Let me give you an example. If you close on October 15th, you're going to pay a mortgage for the 16th through the 31st for the month of October because you are living in that property for those days, right? So you got to pay. But if you close later in the month, you'll have less to prepay. It's not huge, but every little bit helps. That's why I'm bringing it up. Number 6, ask for lender credits. Some lenders will offer what's called a lender credit. Basically, they'll give you some money towards your closing costs in exchange for a higher interest rate. Just keep in mind that a higher interest rate means a higher payment. So definitely make sure the increase doesn't make your payment too heavy because you don't want to rush and risk losing your home. I've personally never had a buyer use that program before, use lender credit. So if you have, definitely leave some info for us in the comment section. Always ask your lender what options are available. There are many payment calculators available if you want to figure out your payment. You can always ask your lender, but you should also fact check that information. So you can use apps, you can use calculators available on different websites. Definitely check Google. I like Zillow Mortgage because it's really easy to use and play around with the numbers, and it's free. Bottom line, closing costs are a normal part of buying a home, but there are a few ways to manage them if you plan ahead. My name is Tiffany Nelson, and I'm a realtor here in Allentown and its surrounding areas. If you or someone you know needs a realtor, I would love to hear from you. My contact information is always below the video in the description box. Thanks so much for watching.